Jai Hind everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel, which is Explore Yourselves, Banking and General Knowledge, etc. Jai Hind, your daily boost, Tithi Nakshatra and important anniversaries, spiritual and historical insight of 12th January 2025, Sunday, Bengali date, 27 পৌষ 1431. As per Beni Madhav Ponjika, today's Tithi is Shukla Troyodasi and up to 0606 hours, and after that Shukla Chaturdashi. Today's Nakshatra is Mrigashira Nakshatra and up to 1131 hours, and after that Ardra Nakshatra. Today is 12th day of the year. There are then 353 days left in 2025. Today is second Sunday of 2025. Today is National Youth Day in India. National Youth Day, also known as Vivekananda Jayanti, is celebrated annually on 12th January, being the birthday of a Hindu monk, Swami Vivekananda. In 1984, the Government of India declared this day as National Youth Day, and since 1985, the event is celebrated in India every year. It was a decision of the Government of India taken in 1984 to celebrate the birthday of the great Swami Vivekananda, that is on 12th January as National Youth Day every year. The government said that the philosophy of Swamiji and the ideals for which he lived and worked could be a great source of inspiration for the Indian Youth Day. Today is Gyan Engai. Gyan Engai is a festival of Zeliangrong people, indigenous Jeme, Liangmei, and Rongmei tribes of Assam, Manipur, and Nagaland states in northeastern India. Gyan Engai is a festival of light celebrating the victory of light over evil and the commemoration of the coming of light or fire. It is a post-harvest festival celebrated to thank the god Tinkau Rangwang for a good harvest season and the heralds of the beginning of a new year. The festival is celebrated for 5 days with various rituals, prayers, and festivities such as music, dance, and feast accompanying the same. Today is Work Harder Day. Work Harder Day is celebrated on January 12 annually. It is a day for people to do what its name suggests, work harder. In everything we hope to achieve success in, we do one thing, work hard. And when we want to achieve that success faster, we put in more effort and push ourselves to the limits. Staying longer than usual at work offers a chance to work harder. But do you know what that working longer and harder are not synonyms? While working longer makes you look diligent, working harder actually makes you successful. Today is National Curried Chicken Day. One of the yummiest days, National Curried Chicken Day or National Chicken Curry Day, is on January 12. This fantastic dish has been filling our bellies in the Western world since the 1800s and has been in existence long before then. We have India to thank for providing us with this delicious recipe, which has since spread all over the world, reaching the United Kingdom, America, and the Caribbean. Today is birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda, 12th January 1863 to 4th July 1902. Swami Vivekananda, born Narendranath Datta, was an Indian Hindu monk, philosopher, author, religious teacher, and the chief disciple of the Indian mystic Ramakrishna. He was a key figure in the introduction of Vedanta and Yoga to the Western world. He is credited with raising interfaith awareness and bringing Hinduism to the status of a major world religion in the late 19th century. Born into an aristocratic Bengali caste family in Calcutta, Vivekananda was inclined from a young age towards religion and spirituality. At the age of 18, he met Ramakrishna, later becoming a devoted follower and sannyasin renunciate. After the death of Ramakrishna, Vivekananda toured the Indian subcontinent as a wandering monk and acquired first-hand knowledge of the often terrible living conditions of Indian people in then British India. In 1893, he traveled to the United States where he participated in the Parliament of Religions in Chicago. There he delivered a famous speech beginning with the words Sisters and Brothers of America, introducing the ancient Hindu religious tradition to Americans and speaking forcefully about the essential unity of all spiritual paths and the necessity of embracing tolerance and renouncing fanaticism. The speech made an extraordinary impression. One American newspaper described him as an orator by divine right and undoubtedly the greatest figure at the parliament. After the great success of the parliament, Vivekananda delivered hundreds of lectures across the United States, England, and Europe, disseminating the core tenets of Hindu philosophy. He founded the Vedanta Society of New York and the Vedanta Society of San Francisco, now Vedanta Society of Northern California, which became the foundations for Vedanta societies in the West. In India, he founded the Ramakrishna Mutt, which provides spiritual training for monastics, householders, and the Ramakrishna Mission, which provides charity, social work, and education. Vivekananda was one of the most influential philosophers and social reformers in his contemporary India, the most successful missionary of Vedanta to the Western world. He was also a major force in contemporary Hindu reform movements and contributed to the concept of nationalism in colonial India. He is now widely regarded as one of the most influential people of modern India and a patriotic saint. His birthday is celebrated in India as National Youth Day. Today is death anniversary of Miss Agatha Christie, 15 September 1890 to 12 January 1976. Dame Agatha Mary Clarissa Christie, Lady Malone, was an English author known for her 66 detective novels and 14 short story collections, particularly those revolving around fictional detectives Hercule Poirot and Miss Marple. She also wrote the world's longest running play, The Murder Mystery, The Mousetrap, which has been performed in the West End of London since 1952. A writer during the golden age of detective fiction, Christie has been called the Queen of Crime, a nickname now trademarked by her estate, or the Queen of Mystery. She also wrote six novels under the pseudonym Mary Westmacott. In 1971, she was made a Dame DB by Queen Elizabeth II for her contributions to literature. She is the best-selling fiction writer of all time, her novels having sold more than 2 billion copies. Christie was born into a wealthy upper-middle-class family in Torquay, Devon, and was largely home-schooled. She was initially an unsuccessful writer with six consecutive rejections, but this changed in 1920 when The Mysterious Affair at Styles, featuring detective Hercule Poirot, was published. Her first husband was Archibald Christie. They married in 1914 and had one child before divorcing in 1928. Following the breakdown of her marriage and the death of her mother in 1926, she made international headlines by going missing for 11 days. During both World Wars, she served in hospital dispensaries and acquiring a thorough knowledge of the poisons that featured in many of her novels. Short stories and plays following her marriage to archaeologist Max Malone in 1930, she spent several months each year on digs in the Middle East and used her first-hand knowledge of this profession in her fiction. According to UNESCO's Index Translationum, she remains the most translated individual author. Her novel And Then There Were None is one of the top-selling books of all time, with approximately 100 million copies sold. Christie's stage play, The Mousetrap, holds the world record for the longest initial run. It opened at the Ambassador's Theatre in the West End on 25th November 1952, and by 2018 there had been more than 27,500 performances. The play was temporarily closed in 2020 because of COVID-19 lockdowns in London before it reopened in 2021. In 1955, Christie was the first recipient of the Mystery Writers of America's Grand Masters Award. Later that year, Witness for the Prosecution received an Edgar Award for Best Play. In 2013, she was voted the best crime writer in The Murder of Roger Ackroyd the best crime novel ever by 600 professional novelists of the Crime Writer Association. In 2015, And Then There Were None was named the world's favorite Christie in a vote sponsored by the author's state. Many of Christie's books and short stories have been adapted for television, radio, video games, and graphic novels. More than 30 feature films are based on her work. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Surya Sen, 22nd March 1894 to 12th January 1934. Surya Sen, also known as Surya Kumar Sen, was an Indian revolutionary who was influential in the Independence Day movement against British rule in India and is best known for leading the 1930 Chittagong Armories raid. Sen was a school teacher by profession and was popularly known as Master Da. Da is an honorific suffix in Bengali language. He was influenced by the nationalist ideals in 1916 while he was a student of BA in Berhampur College, now MES College. In 1918, he was selected as president of the Indian National Congress Chittagong branch. Sen was known for recruiting a group of young and passionate revolutionaries known as the Chittagong Group. The group included Anant Singh, Ganesh Ghosh, and Loknath Rai, and fought against the British presence in Chittagong. He was an active participant in the non-cooperation movement and was later arrested and imprisoned for 2 years from 1926 to 1928 for his revolutionary activities. Brilliant and inspirational organizer, Sen was fond of saying, "Humanism is a special virtue of a revolutionary." After the Chittagong raid in 1930 and a fierce battle where over 80 British and Army soldiers and 12 revolutionaries were killed, Sen and other surviving revolutionaries dispersed into small groups and hid in neighboring villages. Launching raids on government's personnel and property, Sen was arrested on 16 February 1933, tried and was hanged on 12 January 1934. Many of his fellow revolutionaries were also caught and sentenced to long periods of imprisonment. Today is birth anniversary of Dr. Yalapa Subbarao, 12th January 1895 to 8th August 1948. Yalapa Subbarao was an Indian American biochemist who discovered the function of adenosine triphosphate ATP as an energy source in the cell, developed methotrexate for the treatment of cancer, and led the development of Leaderhill laboratories to in which Benjamin Minge Dugar discovered chlorotetracycline in 1945. A student of Madras Medical College, his elder brother and younger brother both died due to tropical sprue in the span of 8 days. He subsequently discovered folic acid as a cure for tropical sprues. He discovered methotrexate, a chemotherapy drug still used today and also used for rheumatoid arthritis, and diethyl carbamazine, the only effective drug for treating filariasis. Most of his career was spent in the United States. Despite his isolation of ATP, Subbarao did not gain tenure at Harvard University, though he would lead some of America's most important medical research during World War II. He is also credited with the first synthesis of the chemical compounds folic acid and methotrexate. Today is death anniversary of Miss Olga Alexandrovna Ledezinskaya, 7th March 1922 to 12th January 2004. Olga Alexandrovna Ledezinskaya was a Russian mathematician who worked on partial differential equations, fluid dynamics, and the finite differences method for the Navier-Stokes equation. She received the Lomonosov Gold Medal in 2002. She authored more than 200 specific publications, including 6 monographs. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Amrish Puri, 22nd June 1932 to 12th January 2005. Amrish Puri was an Indian actor who was one of the most notable and important figures in Indian cinema and theatre. He acted in more than 450 films, established himself as one of the most popular and iconic actors in Indian cinema. Puri is remembered for playing various roles in a variety of film genres, especially iconic villainous roles in Hindi cinema as well as international cinema. He reigned supreme in villainous roles in the 1980s and 1990s, when his dominating screen presence and distinctive deep voice made him stand out amongst the other villains of the day. Puri was active in both art cinema, such as in some of Sam Benegal and Govind Nihal's films, as well as in mainstream cinema. Puri won three Filmfare Awards for Best Supporting Actor in eight nominations. He also holds most Filmfare Award for Best Villain nominations. While he predominantly worked in Hindi language films, he had also appeared in Telugu, Kannada, Tamil, Malayalam, and Marathi languages films. Puri played some of most remembered villainous roles in Vidata 1982, Sakti 1982, Hero 1983, Mary Jang 1985, Nagina 1986, Mr. India 1987, Sainsa 1988, Ram Lakhan 1989, Tridev 1990, Ghayal 1990, Saudagar 1991, Thalapathy 1991, Tahelka 1992, Damini 1993, Karan Arjun 1995, Kalapani 1996, Jeet 1996, Koila 1997, Badshah 1999, Gadar Ek Prem Katha 2001, and Nayak Real Hero 2001. His notable Telugu films include Kondaviti, Donga 1988, Jagadeka, Bridu, Athiloka Sundari 1990, and Aditya 369 1991. Puri's performance of the main antagonist Mogambo from Shekhar Kapoor's Mr. India 1997 is considered as one of the greatest villains of all time in Indian cinema. It was reported that he received a salary of rupees 1 crore 7,71,890 US dollar, making him the highest paid Indian villain actor of all time. His comic role in Chachi 420 that he acted alongside Kamal Hossain was well received by critics. Puri was a highly prolific actor. He also featured in positive supporting roles, of which he won three times Filmfare Awards for Best Supporting Actor. Some of his notable positive roles are Phool Aur Kaante 1991, Gardish 1993, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge 1995, Ghatak 1996, Dil Jale 1996, Pardesh 1997, Virasat 1997, China Gate 1998, Badal 2000, मुझे कुछ कहना है 2001, मुझसे शादी करोगी 2004, and हलचल 2004. To Western audiences, he is best known as Molaram in the Steven Spielberg and George Lucas Hollywood film Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 1984, and in Richard Attenborough's Gandhi 1982 as Dada Abdullah Haji Adab, President of the Natal Indian Congress. Today is death anniversary of Mr. Charles Brenton Huggins, 22nd September 1901 to 12th January 1997. Charles Brenton Huggins was a Canadian-American surgeon and physiologist known for his work on prostate function, prostate cancer, breast cancer. Born in Halifax in 1901, Huggins moved to the United States for medical school. He was one of the founding staff members of the University of Chicago Medical School, where he remained for the duration of his professional research career. Huggins' work on how sex hormones influence prostate function ultimately led to his discovery of hormone therapies to treat prostate cancer. For this finding, he was awarded the 1966 Nobel Prize for Physiology or Medicine. In addition to his work on prostate cancer, Huggins explored the relationship between hormones and breast cancer, developed an animal model for breast cancer, and developed chromogenic substrates that are widely used for biochemical analysis. Huggins continued to perform research into his 90s. He died in Chicago in 1997. Today is birth anniversary of Mr. Paul Herman Muller, 12 January 1899 to 13 October 1965. Paul Herman Muller, was also known as Pauli Muller, was a Swiss chemist who received the 1948 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine What is 1939 discovery of insecticidal qualities and use of DDT in the control of vector diseases such as malaria and yellow fever? Thank you very much for your patience.